5 teams battle to advance to the Junkyard Joust main event, but only 3 of them can move on. Hi everybody, welcome to the Junkyard Joust. I'm Aaron Yonda. This is qualifier number 2, and here are the teams. You've seen 3 of them before, 1 of them not for a long time, and 2 are new. Let's take a closer look. They've got increased powers of perception. It's the Blue Blockers, a brand new team, featuring a unique mix of cars. The team of DC superheroes are back. Distinguished Competition has a whole new lineup this season. Last time we saw them was all the way back in Season 1, the Gold Rushers return with 5 classic vehicles. The People's Front of Camino is back, and this time they brought trailers, sponsored by Chicken Rings Onion Wings. The Valley of Green Gold, nothing to do with the Packers actually. It's sponsored by Rated RPG. Rated RPG is a role-playing podcast that I'm actually a part of. I'm role-playing a wombat folk. I'll put a link in the description if you're curious and want to check it out. I should warn you that this podcast is really just for adults. Alright, let's head out to the Junkyard and Joust. Round 1, the Blue Blockers will start us off with Aerolift, one of the Klingons hitching a ride. Aerolift sponsored by Emo Dingo, and somehow that Klingon managed to cling on to the Aerolift. Impressive work there. Starting off for the People's Front of Camino, it's the 65 El Camino, 171 grams with that trailer and extra car, sponsored by the Miskatonic Automotive Club. A very slow dismount by the Camino, gets a little bit stuck under Aerolift. Camino struggling to pull all that weight maybe. Klingons are in full force tonight. 63 T-Bird going down for the Gold Rushers, sponsored by DYW Production Labs. This Klingon for some reason not sitting down and just goes flipping off to the side, cannot maintain that position like the other one did. No eliminations yet in this round. Back of that T-Bird is pretty low, but is it low enough to survive a hit from Shazam for Distinguished Competition, sponsored by Chorgoth the Infinite Horror? Apparently so, as Shazam hits the back of the T-Bird and gets nowhere. This ought to help loosen the line up. The Green Bay Packers Semi, 162 grams, sponsored by Chome. The Packers Semi explodes down the track and gets probably the first elimination in this round. T-Bird is upside down, Shazam hanging on, and that trailer's helping the Caminos stay steady. 90 Acura NSX, sponsored by Beaks Busted Barn Finds. Ooh, the Acura gets underneath the Semi. Wow, lifts it up in the air. An amazing hit right there. Even manages to topple the vehicle over sideways. Nice hit. Here comes a 67 El Camino. This one's pretty heavy too, sponsored by Chicken Rings Onion Wings. And the 67 El Camino screeches to a halt, barely even makes a tap on the Semi, and it looks like the Evil Weevil officials are going to give the El Camino team a warning right here. They cannot use the brakes. They have to make an impact, a substantial impact on their next run, or they're going to be disqualified. 70 Chevelle SS now for the Rushers. Heavy slam by the Chevelle, and it does not do any damage, but it does move the line a little bit more. Hawkman's up for DC, sponsored by Dr. Gonzo. A big hit there, but the Chevelle withstands it. All Hawkman is able to do is get his teammate off to safety. Next up is going to be Aerodynamic for Valley of Green Gold. Aerodynamic only 32 grams and does not manage to get underneath Hawkman. Next up, the Dimashini Veloce for Blue Blockers, sponsored by Sicken. The Veloce pushes Aero down the line. No eliminations, but a couple of perilous-looking positions here. Here's one of the older Caminos that I've seen, 59 El Camino for the People's Front. And a nice hit there by that Camino. They're taking that warning to heart. The Chevelle takes the brunt of that hit, flips over upside down, and probably out of this match. Hawkman survives. Picard's taking a ride in the 67 Pontiac GTO, kind of fits him, sponsored by Farty Marty. Oh, wow, Picard not wearing his seatbelt, obviously. He gets some serious height on that hit. It's not often you see the commander of the Starship Enterprise go up to a height of 8, but it just happened. Picard landing on one of the trailers, flipping around, and landing unceremoniously on his face. He looks like he's fine, though. Green Lantern up next for DC, sponsored by Sid from Cybertron. Green Lantern gets underneath the GTO, but can't flip it over. GTO's trying to get off the track, and that Camino looks like it's in trouble. Futurismo now for the Green Gold, sponsored by Tim the Bear Neal. Futurismo, wow, what a wallop right there, and Green Lantern gets tossed, lands on top of Picard, The GTO goes upside down. Picard actually managed to squeeze his way out. Looks like he got out just in time before that car landed on top of him. That was a good move. Not surprisingly, he looks pretty happy about that. Honda Civic Custom, sponsored by Hendrika's Heavy Hauling. Ooh, the cardinal sin. Never take out your own teammate. The Veloce tossed over and upside down. Not entirely the Civic's fault. Futurismo obviously had a lot to do with it. Tough result, though. We've got another Klingon in an El Camino, 65 El Camino SS, sponsored by TJG. A decent hit by that Camino. Could have been a little bit harder, but the officials are calling it legit. Klingon falls out and lands over to the side. No eliminations on that hit. Baby Cookie's back going down on the 65 Mustang convertible, sponsored by Sean and Patrick Hogan.
Oh boy!
The Mustang slams Futurismo just about off the track. Cookie goes flying all over the place, lands over by that clown who we think sells ice cream out of that food truck, but we don't actually know what's going on. I'm sure Cookie likes ice cream, but I'm not sure that's a safe place to get it, Cookie. During the last joust, a Klingon disappeared into that thing. Mr. Freeze up now for DC. Mr. Freeze makes the hit, and the Green Bay Packers semi, which actually somehow started to make a recovery, now topples over the other direction and is out again. Stressing the gold part of the Valley of Green Gold, Duck and Roll, sponsored by Amethyst Auto Club. Duck and Roll tries to take out Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze in a position that could be considered out. It's tough to say right now. We'll see if that changes. Duck and Roll locked in. Here's an interesting car, the Volkswagen IDR, sponsored by Sloss Automotive Sachet and Buffet. Wow, I thought that car would be a little bit faster than that. Pushes Duck and Roll off the track, but doesn't get a whole lot of undercutting action beyond that. Up now for the Camino 71 El Camino, sponsored by Chicken Rings Onion Wings. The Mustang convertible gets thrown off the track, hurled upside down and out. This car's a little confusing. It could almost be on the DC team, but no, it's on People's Front of Camino. Hitting the track next, 66 Nova, sponsored by Mark the Music Lover. The Nova takes out one of the Caminos, and something came off one of those cars. A bit went flying up in the air. I don't know which car that came off of. Nice hit, though. Here comes Superman for DC, sponsored by Stump's Tree Farm. Superman tries to smash his way underneath that Nova, but can't really get anywhere. Looks like that older Camino up there is sideways at this point. And farther down the line, Aerodynamic might be in trouble from that Volkswagen. The one, the only, and the final car of this round, sponsored by Judy Collins, it's Lamelt. Lamelt slides underneath Superman, no damage on that hit. A lot of people interested in why Lamelt is on this team this season. Emerald Undercurrent's been a little frustrated in the previous seasons. I think they just needed some time to recoup. Decent amount of eliminations in that round. 11 cars are out. We didn't lose any teams, but the Gold Rushers are definitely in trouble. As you can see, they lost 4 vehicles on that round. Tough one for them. Let's take a look at the aftermath. Camino DC and Green Gold each lost 2 cars apiece. Blue Blockers only lost 1, and the Gold Rushers are in trouble. 1 car left.
Hey, you, the ugly one. I'm getting just about tired of you. Get your finger away from me. Go to get a bit up on my one tooth.
Here we go, round 2. Blue Blocker starting us off with Aerolift again. Let's see if that Klingon can hang on, and yes, she does. Amazing. That shows some serious strength. Slammed by Shazam into the back of Aerolift. He can't get under. Good thing, too, where he might have just lost his head. Green Gold starting off with Lamelt, and it gets underneath Shazam. Shazam backs down Lamelt. And that is an effective way for Lamelt to avoid the next hit. Shazam's gonna have to take it. It's a slightly speedier El Camino. They don't want another warning. Knocks Shazam off the track to safety. The Camino drives up on the back of Aerolift and just kind of hangs out there in a strange position. 66 Nova pushes the Camino and trailer up on the back of Lamelt and Aerolift. Cannot get that thing off the track. That trailer holding it there. A nice solid hit by the Acura, but the Nova survives it with style, does not move from its position. Pushes the Acura backwards. Hawkman has a little bit better luck, but look at the recovery by that Nova. That easily could have been an over easy and an elimination, but the Nova makes a nice roll. Aerodynamic gets blocked by Hawkman, and look at that Camino bouncing up and down over there. I think Camino did the right thing having trailers this season. It seems to be helping them. A Another Camino with trailer pushes the line forward. The Acura escapes, and the other Camino starts to slide off to the right this time with the trailer. Man, that is just a weird looking situation. I'm surprised that trailer hitch hasn't busted off. The Civic pushes Hawkman off the back of Lamelt. Hawkman goes up on the trailer. Superman pushes the Civic sideways into an iffy position. Ooh, bit of a belly flop by Duck and Roll. Turns over sideways and might be able to come back from that. Civic is safe. 71 El Camino knocks Duck and Roll off the track completely. Sideways, no recovery there, but the other Superman car makes a great recovery. Now wait a minute, did Cookie just fall over? Or did that clown knock her down?
I'm in the weeds!
Oh boy. The IDR's got a little bit more speed this time and knocks the Superman Camino off the track, but does not eliminate it. And that is gonna be the end of round 2. Kind of a strange round, only 1 elimination. Man, if Duck and Roll had survived that hit, we would be going into higher speeds already in round 2. That's never happened before. So just the 1 elimination, which will take Valley of Green Gold down to 2 cars. No eliminations on any of the other teams. That certainly bodes well for all their teams. Uh-oh, it looks like the clown has got Cookie in his clutches.
What's going on? I'm not staying with you. You look like a predator.
And it looks like those Klingons probably haven't noticed, or maybe they just think Cookie can handle herself.
Klingon.
We're driving straight into round 3. Aerolift starting off as usual. The randomized running order is up. Of course, the running order based on the number of cars your team has left. The Klingon stays on yet again. Superman slides into place. I bet blue blockers wish that they could use the ramp on Aerolift. Looks like it's a little too wide though. The 65 El Camino slides over the back of Superman and starts to go off the track, but I have a feeling with that heavy trailer, it's not gonna be going far. Lamelt trying to assist getting that trailer off the track. Can't get underneath it, but that sets up a nice ramp. Chunk of something went flying on that hit. 66 Nova gets some air off the back of Lamelt and tumbles several times and makes a nice recovery, keeping Gold Rushers in this match. That's the only thing keeping them in. Good recovery. Great car. Ooh, the IDR launches off the back of Lamelt. Looks like the front of that thing would go under Lamelt. It doesn't, and the IDR skitters to a stop sideways, going off its own teammate. And there's a car I thought would certainly go off the back of Lamelt, and it doesn't. Low enough to prevent the launch. Knocks Lamelt silly, though. Lamelt could be in trouble. 67 El Camino with the trailer pile drives into the line. Lamelt stays steady. Hawkman goes sideways. And wow, that trailer sure is in a weird position now. Aerodynamic can't get underneath that trailer. Hawkman back to being upright again. The Acura darts into Aerodynamic, and Dynamic makes a nice flip and a recovery. Good work there. Shazam shunts the Acura off the track. Acura stays nice and level, does not flip. Good undercut by Shazam. 71 El Camino bumps Shazam over the trailer and off the track. Shazam stays level for now. The Honda Civic tries to take out the El Camino, but the El Camino sticks the landing. Is safe. And wow, that's the end of the round. Another wild round, and yet 1 elimination. This is highly unusual. I think we've got a great crop of cars here and some good teams. Let's take a look at the aftermath. Blue blockers come down to earth, now down to 3 cars, along with DC and Camino. Gold Rushers still at 1, Valley of Green Gold at 2.
What's my name, fool? Little baby Cookie!
I think that clown got more than he bargained for. Cookie just stole the ice cream van. Here we go, round 4. Are we gonna get any eliminations in this round, or is it gonna continue the slow burn? DC starting us off this time, followed by Camino. 67 El Camino locking in with that trailer. These trailers still working great for the Camino team. Heavy hit from Aerolift, and wow, did you see that recovery by the Camino and the trailer? Unbelievable. That is such a heavy, awkward vehicle, and yet somehow it makes a perfect recovery. Aerodynamic can't get under Aerolift. The flatbed on that thing is extended. That's a good way to deaden any big hits. 66 Nova tries to push Aerodynamic underneath Aerolift. It doesn't work. And now the Nova is almost up on the back of Aerolift. And Shazam completes that transaction. Ooh, too bad the Nova couldn't quite land it perfectly. That does not look safe, although the Klingon up front is safe. Some debris flying around there. A big hit from the Camino and trailer, and look at that, the Nova recovering yet again, keeping Gold Rushers alive, and a nice jump off the track by Shazam there. Looks like aerodynamic is finally starting to get underneath Aerolift. Ooh, the Acura, like a dagger, just goes straight under the trailer and the Camino and gets them off the track. I never thought we'd see that happen. Wow, what a hit, and now aerodynamic's even farther underneath Aerolift. That actually could be bad for blue blockers, but that was a great hit. Still no eliminations. Maybe Lamelt can change that. Now that the back of Lamelt is set up as a potential ramp. DC employing the unlikely Hawkman as a way to stop Lamelt from using that ramp, and it kind of works, although Hawkman's up in the back of Lamelt now. Acura almost off the track. 71 El Camino knocks Hawkman off completely, and Hawkman spins around, flips, and lands it. Wow, what a recovery there. And we still have no eliminations. The Camino gets wedged between Aerolift and Lamelt after that hit from the Honda. That was the final car of the round, and guess what? No eliminations in that round means we are going to increased speeds. That has definitely never happened this early. There's still over half the cars left in this match. We'll jump right into round 5, and I'm just really impressed with the level of competition that these cars are bringing to the junkyard today. Increased speeds in full effect, and Handle the Clown has showed up. Looks like that evil clown is calling on a fellow clown. I bet they're gonna go after Cookie in that ice cream van. 67 El Camino rocks Aerolift. Aerolift manages to stay on the track, although curbside, and somehow that Klingon maintains her balance despite the big hit. Superman knocks the Camino trailer curbside and locks it in. Aerolift no longer curbside. Lamelt, wow, I don't know what happened there, but now Lamelt is up on the back of Superman. Either that's gonna be a really deadly jump, or Lamelt is gonna get knocked off the track here. Looks like both things happen as the Nova goes diving right into the Klingon on the back of Aerolift. Ow, that had to hurt. But the Klingon's now sitting on the back of the flatbed. Unfortunately, the Nova is out. And barring some sort of miracle, I think we might have just lost our first team. Increased speeds doing the trick. Looks like there's a big chunk of paint on top of Superman. I don't know where that came from. Came off of one of these cars, I guess. Solid hit on Superman by the Acura. Superman pops up, but then locks it back down, and the flatbed turns into a bouncy castle for that Klingon. A massive thrust by the El Camino with trailer, and Superman is knocked prone, upside down. Acura is hanging on for the moment. Yeah, we're seeing some eliminations now. Shazam gets the El Camino off the track, but cannot tip it over. That thing is going to be tough to eliminate. Aerodynamic can't get under the trailer and basically just succeeds in knocking the Klingon back up to where she started. Ooh, a weird bounce for the Honda Civic, and it gets shunted, self-shunted off the track, upside down. That's going to be another elimination for blue blockers. The 71 El Camino manages to push Aerodynamic underneath that Camino with trailer finally. Got a chain of undercutting going on here. Hawkman continues the undercutting, but gets no eliminations on that hit. Final car of the round, we did get a bunch of eliminations. 3, in fact, and they're all from different teams, and we are finally going to lose one of our competitors tonight. Gold Rushers are out of this competition. DC drops down to 2, and Blue Blockers drops down to 2. Camino now in the lead as we head into round 6. And they will start us off. Running order is up. Looks like Handle the Clown is helping that other clown keep an eye out for Baby Cookie. She's got to be around here somewhere. Lamelt settles in behind the trailer, and DC's coming down next. I bet they're going to use Hawkman. Hawkman again proving effective at disarming Lamelt. Lamelt gets pushed off the track, nearly goes sideways. That's not a great position to be in, but Lamelt's been in worse. A massive increased speed hit by Aerolift, and look at Hawkman fly. Does not nail the landing though, and Lamelt does survive that hit. Hawkman does not. Tough loss for DC. The Camino with trailer pushes into Aerolift. The flatbed gets snapped up to the front. And wow, did the Camino go up in the air on that, but the trailer kept it in place. Gotta be so much torque on that trailer hitch. And finally, the trailer comes loose from the El Camino. Probably sheared that thing right off. That means the El Camino will not get to have the trailer on its next run down. Yeah, that looks like the hitch on the back of the Camino got busted off completely. Shazam plows into the fray and Aerolift gets knocked sideways, and it's gonna be tough to come back from that. Aerodynamic also looking a little precarious. The Acura slaps Shazam farther down the track. Aerodynamics slides almost all the way off, still in good position. 71 El Camino smashes into the pile, and no eliminations on that hit. Final car of the round. We're gonna lose 2 cars on the round and 1 trailer. No teams eliminated in that round. Let's take a look at the aftermath. DC and Blue Blockers slide down to 1 car apiece. Camino stays steady at 3, and Valley of Green Gold stays steady at 2. If one more team gets eliminated, the competition's gonna be over. People's Front opts to send down their other Camino with a trailer first. Aerodynamic can't get anywhere and goes curbside off of the impact. Lots of white paint flying all over the place. Ooh, a nasty hit there from Shazam, and Aerodynamic cannot make the recovery. Takes a little bit of a bad bounce off the side of the track, ends up upside down and out. Valley of Green Gold just lost an impressive newcomer right there. And the Acura forces Shazam over the back of that trailer. Shazam makes an impressive recovery. That could have easily gone wrong. That little bounce at the end saves him. 71 Camino slides into position. Don't forget, we are still at high speeds here. Lamelt tries to flip the Camino over, but can't quite manage it, and now Lamelt is curbside. The 65 El Camino without the trailer takes out the Superman Camino. Big oops there, taking down your own teammate, and Lamelt slides off to safety. And that's already the end of round 7. Just the 2 cars eliminated, no teams eliminated. Here we go, round 8. It's getting crazy. 67 El Camino with trailer slides into place. Running order is live. Acura tries to push that Camino around, but there's nothing it can do, and it just flops up on top of the trailer. That's a tough position to be in for this next hit. And Lamelt takes full advantage of it, knocking the Acura over and upside down. That's an elimination. If it stays like that, the Blue Blockers are in deep trouble right here. That's their only car in the match right now. Shazam strikes. How is that possible? I didn't think that car could get under Lamelt. Unbelievable. What an undercut. Lamelt flipped up in the air, tossed upside down. Shazam just took down the legendary Lamelt, but it's not quite over yet. The Camino coming down could potentially right it. Camino hits, tosses Lamelt over the trailer, and Lamelt does not make a recovery, and that is an elimination in the qualifiers of Lamelt. Unbelievable. That was the final car of that round. This is definitely going to be the final round, and now I don't know who the third team is that's making it into the main event here. We're going to have to look at points. 2 teams knocked out in that round, but one of them has to move on. Camino and Distinguished Competition are moving on. Who will it be, Blue Blockers or Valley of Green Gold? Here's the point spread based on who had vehicles in the match the longest. And as you can see, Blue Blockers outpaced Valley of Green Gold by 6 points, and they will be moving on. Hard to believe a team with Lamelt on it is not making it into the main event, but Shazam, wow, devastating hit, and that car is a competitor. And Camino looking pretty good in this match. They'll have to get that trailer hitch fixed. Oh, here we go, it's a face-off. They're gonna duel.
Whatever. I am legit. Pillsbury Doughboy.
He slams the ice cream van into Hando. The clown falls on the track, and look at that. The ice cream van, his very own van, lands right on top of him. And Baby Cookie takes down the evil clown and makes the junkyard safe again for everybody. Nice job, Cookie.
I don't like carolers.
Well, the Valley of Green Gold may have gotten eliminated, but you can still listen to the podcast. Link in the description. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on the Junkyard Joust.